Hey, we just watched this short track, Children of Mars, and we could not help but notice that this attack on Mars was caused by quote unquote rogue synths.
Synths, you say?
Yeah.
Like 80s keytar, maybe?
Maybe not quite that Beverly Hills Cop sort of aesthetic there.
Harold Faltermeyer, where are you right now?
But hey, Cliff Martinez, if you're listening to us, I want you to know that androids may be those synths that they're talking about. I wonder if they are kind of like dipping their toes into the potential data connection that we're going to see with Star Trek Picard. What do you think this actually spells if the Federation is having problems with synthetic life forms or just androids as we know them?
Well, we saw with Data, the show and the films, by extension, ran into a problem. And that the more they evolved Data, at a certain point it was like, okay, so what now? And so they found ways to pull back on that with Insurrection and Nemesis. And so part of me wonders if the idea of a synth attack on Mars means that maybe androids aren't really a big factor in the future of the franchise, at least for the foreseeable Picard era.
Well, is that do you think it's because of concerns that what if androids just kind of take over all day-to-day life? What is
Robopocalypse?
Well, but what is kind of the point of like humanity exploring space if we have robots or holograms doing all those chores? Do you think it's potential that there's kind of a robo uprising here?
It's quite possible, because that would explain how they can scuttle B4, and however Data works into this series, we don't know yet. But I have a hard time believing he's going to be an ongoing regular character in the future of Picard. I think he'll be in and out of the show in certain ways, but I don't think the show is going to be grappling with, the android stories the way that past TNG did, for example.
Well, I think what we need to consider here, though, is that Data is special. Like, there's something about that positronic brain that Noonien Sung was able to perfect that he was not able to do with B4, he was not able to do with Lore, and it looks as if maybe if other scientists tried to recreate that, they were unsuccessful, and maybe it resulted in this Martian apocalypse that we're witnessing in Children of Mars.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can also say, though, the one good one was the Data's mom from Heritage.
Juliet's?
Yeah, or was it Inheritance, I think was the episode.
Inheritance,
yeah.
Because remember, even Lol, Data's own creation, ultimately failed.
Yeah. The one from Inheritance, though, like, it succeeded, but I also don't know how much that episode is really looked back upon for Star Trek lore.
You and I had some comments on it in the podcast.
Not a bad episode, but it's not a fan favorite.
Yeah, go look for our best of in the past of 2019, and you can easily find our comments in there about Inheritance.
Yeah,
I know everybody's like just begging for it at this point, but yeah, I would just wonder though, the one thing that Data's mom was missing, though, was self-awareness, and all the other androids did possess that. I wonder what happens if these defective rogue synths become self-aware, and this is maybe kind of an uprising here. I think there's a lot of great narrative potential for what they want to explore in Star Trek Picard, if this is going to be one of the threads that they carry on.
We also saw the uprising of the hologram characters in the Voyager episode Flesh and Blood. And I'm interested to see how they delve into the potential synth issue in Picard in a way that maybe feels different than that.
Yeah, well, as Robert Picardo strangely announced, he's already in talks for Season 2 of Star Trek Picard, so maybe we'll have to wait another year.
Sure.